Does anyone have a question? Questions are good.
Stuart, can you talk a little bit about some of the
About it.
emotion? Can you hear me? This
Yeah.
is Sarah.
Yes.
Hi. Can you talk a little bit about some of the intense emotions that start to come up after a retreat?
Well, look, even after classes like this, you're going to tap things that are buried inside you. And I mean very deeply buried inside you that come to the surface. They're emotional traumas that exist inside every human being. Part of the reason why, we cut ourselves off from life, we don't succeed as much as we should. Things that stop us from truly functioning, these things are buried inside us. When you attend a retreat, the energy goes so deep inside you that it literally releases those emotional regressions. And then it's what you do with it. You understand? Uh, in many cases, people get so upset about that and they begin to wallow in those emotions and they let the emotions take over. Or you take the energy a little deeper and you literally can flush them out of your system. You can transform these regressive emotions inside you into a highly developed chakra system. Because if you learn how to do that, they just become energy. And the energy builds you and gets you stronger instead of takes your life away. But, these classes and especially retreats are about drilling for oil. And you got to drill very deeply inside you to find regression, to find emotions that we repress inside us. And they're released. And then there's a choice. Do you identify with them? Do you get all upset because you feel these emotions, or do you continue to transform them in the chakra system until you master them and they no longer can take hold of you? They can't stop you from doing what you have to do in your life creatively. And everybody has that. I mean, I have that. We all have that. I mean, look, we've lived, most of us, a pretty long time. We have many lifetimes of repression also that we have lived through. And all of this stuff is buried. It's like a cemetery there of repressed emotions. We have to dig them up, release them, and learn how to let go of them so they no longer can control us. I mean, if you know anything about, and I don't know much about it, but that medicine, they give you the problem in order to get rid of the problem. So you get sick for a day, you feel worse, but all it is the problem being flushed out of your system, being brought to the surface. So it makes you feel a little shitty for a day. But then if you continue with that medicine, it releases and frees you of the problem. It gets washed downstream and out into the ocean. So meditation is basically the same kind of thing.
Then can I add to that the question of like if you become physically ill, is that also some of the
Yes,
releasing of that garbage?
you're releasing garbage. Most flus, illnesses, I don't mean even really serious illnesses, the releasing of poison that's inside you. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of them and go see a doctor, and if there's proper medicine to help you, yes, you got to do what you got to do. But most illnesses are the releasing of truly, deeply buried and regressive poisons, emotional and mental tensions that exist inside of us. Hello? And then you got to relax, you got to rest, you got to do what is necessary to take care of them. But to also understand that you can really free yourself of something that has been restricting you most of your life. Heart conditions are that problem. You know, people have built so many walls of defense around their heart to where the heart can't even breathe anymore. And it manifests as cholesterol and all kinds of names they have for this stuff. No, I'm not saying these problems shouldn't be taken care of. They should be. You see doctors, there's all kinds of people in the world that are there to help us. At the same time, if we take the meditation deep enough, we can truly free ourselves of repressed and restrictive energies that really do physically and mentally and emotionally damage to us. And when you go to a retreat and you have even these classes, that's what it's about. It's letting go. It's letting, they just sent me a T-shirt. It's a riot of a picture of me with a big sign on top, just let go. And I was talking about that at the last retreat. I'm going to put a sign above my head. Well, somebody designed a T-shirt like that. Just let go. Just let go. And we all can do it. We just have to. I mean, if we connect with spiritual energy inside us and build that connection and keep drawing that energy into ourselves, it could heal us of anything. It heals us of the fear of life. It heals us of the fear of death. We begin to realize that there are really two energies that do a dance, that one and the same thing. It heals us of everything. We become happy people, living in the wonderment of life. And the wonderment of life goes on infinitely into the universe. But we got to get rid of all those restrictions and all that regression and, that energy we repressed all our lives, emotional things that make us embarrassed and hurt us and, stupid things we've done in our life. And we have to get free of all that stuff. And that comes up and it gives you a flu, weakens your system so you can get COVID. I made it. Well, does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And I can tell you frankly, nobody will get healed of their problems, physical, mental, emotional, whatever they are, drug habits, or anything, unless they have some kind of profound connection with spiritual energy. That is the healing force. And that will attract to one everything you need to get over whatever your problems are. And then you have to have the guts to face the problems. Say, okay, I need more Shakti. I need more energy. Now, I'm not saying what I do is the only way to get through. It's not. But whatever a person does, they have to connect with spiritual energy. They have to be nurtured by that energy. It's the healing force in the universe because it transforms everything inside a human being into a connection with God, into joy, into love, into a real comprehension about what this world is all about. Does anyone else have a question? It's a very important question, and it led into some really good things. So thank you, Sarah. It was wonderful. And then just to finish this, you stop blaming the world for your problems. It's no longer the Democrats, the Republicans. It's no longer, this and the economy and that, but you can deal with anything if you're connected to higher energy and spirit. Does anyone else have a question?
Good question, Stuart. Thank you. It's Chris.
Yes,
Um,
Chris.
that helped me so much. I was going to ask you a very similar question about the need to rest. I feel so very deeply changed by the meditation retreat. And I looked at, I remember you saying this one time. I didn't understand it, but I looked in the mirror yesterday and thought, who are you? I don't know you anymore. And it was such a great feeling.
Chris, what's the question?
The question is just the requirement for sleep and rest, and is that about absorption?
Yes. Look, if you spend an 8, 10 hour a day working physically, you got to get rest. The
Yeah,
body is screaming out, I need some sleep. I need rest. I need you to take a vacation. I need,
yeah.
this is no different. Your chakra system is telling you, stupid, rest.
Yeah,
And saying, rest. Let me absorb everything that's taken place in this meditation class or in this retreat weekend.
mhm,
Then you will build a system that enables you to go on. It has to absorb it. So you
yeah,
got to rest. You have to relax. You have to not constantly being pushed, I got to this. People are so busy being busy that it's just stupid.
yeah,
It's really true. They don't have time for anything because they're so busy.
yeah,
And that's our world is constructed that way. Any really successful people economically, they're so busy, they have no time to sit
yeah,
down and do spiritual practice and do something to really heal themselves inside. And by the time most of them are 40 and 50 years old, they're burned out. I mean, I will never forget, I had a student who used to work for Solomon Brothers, big, one of these big financial firms, with a stocks and money. And then, and he asked me to come down and see where he worked. And I went down there and it was just scary. It was like a pit of people sitting in front of computers,
yeah,
trading stocks and money. And And every one of them looked like a machine
Wow.
being dried. I mean, young people that were being literally having their energy dried out inside of them. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was scary. And I remember I went out and had dinner with this guy and a bunch of his friends. And throughout the entire dinner, they're all sitting with telephones to their ears, listening to what the money is doing in Australia, what the money is doing and the euros are doing and the this is doing and the yen is doing. I mean, they didn't have time to even taste the food that they were eating. Paying $30, $40 for a dish, not being able to taste it because you're worried about what's going on in Australia. I mean, it was extraordinary. What an education that was for me to see these people. You have to rest. You have to give yourself time to relax, to absorb. After a meditation class, I mean, don't go out to a discotheque and boogie.
Yeah.
Take it easy, lie down for 20 minutes, absorb the energy, let it really build the chakra system. And then it'll provide you with enough to do. Trust me. And I don't do as much as I do when I was younger, but every minute something new comes that I have to do. I don't have to go anywhere. It just comes. My energy just attracts it.
Thank you very much.
So rest, part of getting conscious is knowing how to rest and relax and take in the energy. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, it turns out Jennifer is a wonderful masseuse, and I almost insist I get a massage every day for Jennifer. But she likes to do it, so it's all right. Relaxes me. I'm doing 7 of these classes a week, for God's sake, online. If you all were here, it's a whole different energy. But it's all online, and it gets to where you don't want to look into a computer anymore. And yet I know how important these classes are, and I will do them as long as I have to. I mean it. But I also have to get a massage and a this and go see my acupuncturist. And Pat Fay comes and he works on me all weekend. And, I got to get all this done just to do what I do. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions, again, you're probably sick of hearing it, but thank you and God bless you all. For your questions, for your being here, for being part of my life, and for your need to grow spiritually, which really makes demands on me because I have to tap a much higher force to nurture, each and every one of you. So thank you and God bless you all. There'll be meditation on Tuesday. See everybody then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.